Hey guys, basically this video I'm just going to give a little bit of advice. Knowing what I know now, if I could go back and tell myself some advice for when I first started testosterone and all that stuff, then I guess this is kind of what it would be. It's nothing real serious or special, so, it's just little tips here and there, I guess. One of the first things I would tell myself would definitely be to either write down or take a picture of all my testosterone equipment, as I call it, so that I know exactly what I have, what my doses are, what size needles I have, what kind of syringes, how many, and all that stuff, because in the beginning, especially for me, it might not be as big a factor for some people, but for me, because I moved around so much, I was in Texas, and I was in Virginia, and I was in Maryland, and all these different places, and all these different hospitals, I would always get asked what my prescription was and what size needles I needed or had and all this stuff. And just for any reason really, I mean, if you go somewhere and forget your needles, or if something happens and you lose something, or any kind of reason, you might need to know what your prescription is, what size needles you have, what syringes and all that stuff. So for me, that was definitely something that happened a lot, and in the beginning I could never remember, so finally I went and just took a picture of what I have exactly, and it helps so much because I always have it just right there. So, possibly if you have a bad memory like me, you might want to just take a picture of that, or write it down so that you always know what size needles and what dose of testosterone and what kind of testosterone and all that stuff, just so you have it all down. For any reason, anything could come up and you might need to know that information. So, second thing I would say is probably a mistake I made in the beginning. For some reason, they didn't give me a drawing needle and a needle to stick in my leg. Instead, they just gave me the needle to stick in my leg, and I had to draw with that needle, and it took a very long time to get the testosterone through that little needle, because for when they give you a drawing needle, the drawing needle's wider so that the testosterone goes through faster. So, if for some reason anyone out there is in the same situation as me, ends up getting only one needle, I would recommend you asking if there's any possible way you can get a drawing needle too, because that just makes it so much easier. But if for some reason you don't go back to your doctor anytime soon, or for some reason you don't have a drawing needle, make sure you're only sticking the needle through the the little plunger thing for the testosterone, whatever it's called. When you have to stick it in the bottle, make sure you're only doing that one time. If you have to do more than one bottle, then of course you're going to have to do it more than once. But basically the fewest times possible. Because what that does is sticking it through there, every time you stick it through there, it's going to dull the needle a little bit and just make it harder to put it in your leg or wherever you inject your testosterone. So, if for some reason you have to use the same needle to draw and to inject, let's make sure you're putting it through the top of the testosterone bottle as few times as possible, and make it a little bit easier when trying to inject. I'd say the armpit trick for warming up your testosterone is definitely like a simple one and way easier than I used to rub it in between my hands, the bottle. And I don't know, my hands would get kind of like feeling weird, like from the friction, and I didn't really like it, and I was like, there has to be an easier way, and then there was. It's the armpit thing, which I just made a video on my other channel, basically just putting the testosterone under your arms for like a minute, or 30 seconds even, and it warms up and gets a little more flowy, so it goes through the needle and everything a lot faster, and it's all good. Just simple things like that, I would say. be prepared for changes, but, also know that a lot of changes take a long time. Facial hair can take a long time, you know, and other things might feel emotional changes quick. Just be prepared for the changes, and it's just know that they're going to be different times, and all take different times, and your friend who might have started testosterone a few months after you might have more facial hair than you at this point. It's all very individual thing. Also, when I fly with my stuff, obviously needles, syringes, all that stuff I put in my bag that's being checked, but I usually keep my testosterone with me in my personal bag that I take on the plane, because if for some reason my luggage weren't to make it, or miss the flight or get lost or go to the wrong place, so many things can happen with the luggage. I'd much rather have to just try to get a new needle and syringe than have to try to get more testosterone, because that can sometimes be a struggle, especially testosterone being a controlled substance and all that stuff. It's just more than I want to deal with. I'd much rather be trying to get a new needle than new testosterone, so I usually keep testosterone with me. Just simple things like that. Yeah. That's kind of what this video is. So, I'm going to try to upload a video tomorrow too, because I've been working really hard on this video. This one video that's almost finished, but it's not quite. So, I'm going to try to finish that up tonight, and then I can upload it tomorrow. And yeah, other than that, on my other channel, I'm hopefully uploading my 11 months on testosterone video either late tonight or early tomorrow. So, you might want to check that out if you're interested. And yeah, I will talk to y'all soon. Love y'all. Peace.